Please be seated. The Chairman of Governors, Mr. Adrian Wild, will now open today's proceedings.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, parents, principal, faculty and graduates. It's my privilege as Chairman of the Board of Governors to welcome you all and to declare this graduation ceremony open. Thank you.
The Principal, Professor Hamid Teal, will now address the graduates.
Deputy Mayor and Deputy Mayors of Bournemouth, Councillor Chris May and Ms. Jill Matthews, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, graduates. Welcome to this year's degree awarding ceremony, and thank you for being with us today. I do appreciate that some of you have travelled far to be here with us today. It is indeed wonderful to see you all gathered here to share with us what is one of the most, if not the most important day within the yearly academic cycle. And whilst looking at all of you graduates in front of me, it goes without saying that you all in future years to come are very likely to remember this day. Today, we celebrate the achievements of our graduates, and that, of course, is our prime purpose. However, today is also a rite of passage and a radical move for our graduates from one part of their lives to another. In all rites of passage, we celebrate with family and friends. Your degree is a major achievement, whether undergraduate or postgraduate, be it a first professional qualification or a further one. Whatever the subject, whatever the discipline, it is an achievement that will remain with you for the rest of your life. It is a genuine triumph, and it speaks volumes about you. I simply ask you to reflect now on the person you were when you arrived for the first time at the AECC and compare that with the person you are now. I know that not every individual needs to attend university to experience profound change, but I would hazard a guess that most of you will recognize how important your experiences over the last few years at the AECC have been in configuring the intellectual, the philosophical, and social changes that you have undergone whilst here. Recently, I had plenty of opportunities to gain insight in how our alumni give credit to our institution, and what an education from the AECC can do for you. As part of our 50th anniversary gatherings and celebrations throughout the year, I have been meeting with many of our alumni. They are a fantastically successful and diverse group of people. Many of them seem to have taken on life in its ups and as well its downs with gusto and with talent. Each meeting with them makes me even prouder to be principal of this institution. And the main highlight of these meetings is that they all speak fondly of their time here, how it was such an important part of their lives, and how it has helped them, shape them into the person they are now. The English expression of "may you live in interesting times" is purported to be a translation of a traditional Chinese curse. However, the truth is that there is no equivalent expression in Chinese, and that apparently the nearest related Chinese expression is translated as better to be a dog in a peaceful time than to be a man in a chaotic period. Be that as it may, we all know what this expression means, and we certainly do live in interesting and unfortunately sometimes, and as recent events have shown, in unsettling times. In those times, the skills your degrees will give you assume an ever-increasing importance. When you combine these skills with the profound formal and informal intellectual and social interactions that you had with your peers and your academic supervisors, you create a powerful set of life skills that you may have otherwise not been able to access, and certainly not as quickly. And it shows. Not only do our graduates enjoy excellent employment opportunities, possibilities, and rates, but they are also much more likely to contribute towards society, and I'm delighted to report are much less likely to be imprisoned. Also, the major share of the activities at the college relates to chiropractic studies, and most of today's graduates are joining the chiropractic profession. We must certainly recognize the significant growth within our postgraduate department and programs, and equally celebrate the excellent contributions and achievements of our postgraduate students. Many of the over 70 individuals who today receive their well-deserved postgraduate awards this year have already obtained a high level of professional knowledge, skills, and before they have joined us. And we very much value the way your experience, your skills, and your contributions enrich academic life at the AECC. Today is about concentrating on the awards, of course, but we must not forget to thank our graduates for the unique atmosphere they have created in their time here. Our students have a profound impact on the local community, and they bring a very vibrant aspect to the local society, as well as supporting the local businesses. Our European and overseas students add greatly to the intellectual, the social, and the cultural environment of both the college and the town of Bournemouth. So let me express our thanks to you today. The other main group which should be recognized and thanked is the academic staff behind me. This is my 4th year as principal here, and I'm continually taken aback by their talent, their creativity, professionalism, engagement, and hard work. Whilst we are living and working in an undoubtedly enviable setting on the South Coast, students, you, would simply not come here if you did not know that you would be receiving a first-class educational experience. These academics have taught, inspired, and possibly even cajoled the degrees out of you. And for them, this is one of the highlights of the year. Nobody goes into university life and academia for money, but helping to develop the next generation of leaders, of thinkers, and successful clinicians is their undoubted reward. And today's celebration is a manifestation of this ambition. Behind the academics is a huge number of professional and other support staff whose efforts are essential if you're going to continue to succeed as an institution. We are a community of scholarship with all sorts and all types of staff to ensure our excellence, and they should be thanked today also. No person is an island, and I know that our graduates are well aware that they are able to be here today because of years of unstinting and usually unspoken support from their families. Real courage is not a single heroic action, but also lies in repeatedly facing and solving the day-to-day challenges of life, providing a secure environment, ensuring that there is endless personal, moral, and intellectual support, including the giving of advice on how much detergent to add to your wash. And no, you do not add it into the clothes dryer, you put it in the other machine that has the water in it. You see, I have daughters at universities too. And all of this is given without any expectation of any contractual return. Being here today with you is the only reward they would have ever wanted or sought. Some of you already have degrees, and this is your second, or possibly even your third time around. And the support you have needed is quite possibly different, and not so much by a parent, but perhaps a partner or a sibling, or possibly even by children. So everyone with you in this hall today, and also those who were not able to come, deserve your special thanks, congratulations, and recognition. As one would expect, a fair amount of our work, our research, and scholarly activities is based on and enabled by collaboration with other organizations and universities. And I would therefore like to thank the representatives of a number of universities, colleges, and institutes, chiropractic associations, and organizations, and otherwise, for having made the journey in order to be with us today. This would also be the time for me to especially thank colleagues from Bournemouth University, our education partner institution, for attending today, and in particular Professor Tim McIntyre-Batty, Deputy Vice Chancellor, for joining us on the platform. You will now go into the different corners of not only this country, but the world, to start or to continue your professional careers. One thing is almost certain: many of you will have more than one career in your lives. I can honestly tell you that being principal of this college was not on the cards when I graduated as a chiropractor from the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College, or CMCC, some 30 years ago. Speaking of which, I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Jean Moss for joining us today as our invited graduation speaker. Dr. Moss is the immediate past president of CMCC and has led this excellent Canadian institution from success to success during an exceptional period of presidency which spanned over 20 years. The latest statistics about having jobs and careers a young person can expect are staggering. You will be entering the workforce later, changing your work on several occasions, mixing up full and part-time work, and finally, I hate to tell you, you'll be leaving the workforce later than I will. This means that you will be skilled in self-determination, have the ability to cope with uncertainty, the knowledge when to move on and when to get new skills, and fully understand that the world now really has become a global village, and that you may and can end up anywhere. Of course, whilst you will be off to relish the rewards of your education over the next few decades, the AECC will still be here. You are now part of a special community through today's convocation and our alumni network. We will be always delighted to hear from you, to see you back at the AECC, possibly at one of these ceremonies as a proud parent, or possibly even to receive the exceptional and special recognition as an honorary fellow, just as Dr. Peter Dixon will today. I will look forward to meeting you in the future as examples of those alumni I have just described to you earlier. When you do return, you will find the values of the AECC the same as when you have left. We are committed to ensuring that this institution will continue to be investing in order to offer excellence in all we do, and to remain a college that you will say that you are proud to have graduated from. Finally, I regard it as a great privilege of the principal to be able to congratulate you personally on your exceptional achievement today, and I do wish you all the very best for your futures. And thank you for your attention. I, the principal of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, declare the congregation open for the awards.
Dr. Arvid Torkelson, Vice Principal, Undergraduate Studies and Quality, will now present the undergraduate graduates.
Principal, in the name and by the authority of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, I present to you the following for the award of Master of Chiropractic. Anya Andersson. Joshua Arden. Anders Bakken, with distinction. Anouk Bakker. Laura Lise Bakker. Amy Batchelor. Monica Bahali. Ilaria Belfiore. Marte Birkeland, with distinction. Tor Christian Birkeland. Christopher Bursheim, with distinction. Christopher Braxton. Renee Catarino Fernandez Suarez. Anna Clark, distinction. Charlotte de Kozemaka. Vasilios Demoulis. Gary Doyle with distinction. Torius Forlon Due. Oliver Eccles with distinction. Ayelet Ailos. Alan Eckler. James Ellis with distinction. Hanne Emmerhoff. Adam Endler. Elisabeth Espedal. Christina Brenne Fagerli. Malte Frølich. Giacomo Giretti. Victorine Chaselings. Eileen Gillis with distinction. Scott Gimby. Christian Järmenrød. Arne Marius Gullseth. Anniken Lister Haugen. Nora Helk. Christian Hermann. Charlotte Heining. Erik Christiansen Hippe with distinction. Marius Hott. Gemma Holloway with distinction. Carl Herkett. Ulrich Husmann. Robin Ingelse. Scott Jackson with distinction. Christine Jansson. Marte Johannessen. Siri Johansen. Lydia Johnson. Anthony King. Simon Kitzinger. Alexander Kjernsmo. Laura Knowles. Philip Larsson. Judy Lee. Tom Ledoux. Irma Lykken. Erik Malmqvist. Joel Marcantoni. Leis Martini. Ole Mathiassen. Jacob Mead. Anne Messerschmidt. Caroline Mulliner. Richard Nichol. Ingvild Nordrum with distinction. Lena Olsen. Matilda Opsvik. Eirik Østhus. Antje Pennekamp. Lars Henning de Vries. Nikos Poulis with distinction. Emily Rose. Anders Channing. Tim Scott, distinction. Elizabeth Barr Simenez. Benjamin Sokondo. Tarald Sørnes. Ingrid Standal. Ryan Stevenson. Jordan Stutter. Thea Kristine Leding Tømmervåg. Judith Johanna Thorstvedt. Geoffroy van Innis. Marianne Velta. Henrik Vikanes Værvik. Camilla Viken. Teresa Ramm. Erik Weidmann. Alexander White. Graduates who have not attended the ceremony are recognized in absentia.
Dr. Neil Osborne, Director of Clinic, will now administer the AECC Chiropractic Oath.
we have the house lights up, please? No, okay. Could the graduates please stand? Please refer to the chiropractic oath in your graduation programme. Candidates for the Masters of Chiropractic, please stand, raise your right hand and repeat after me, chiropractor's oath. I promise before all those present that I will keep the AECC chiropractor's oath. I will hold my teachers in esteem and respect. I will only follow the methods of treatment which I consider will benefit my patients. I will practice my profession without distinction of creed, race or colour. You noticed that? I will place no consideration above that of the welfare of my patients. I will keep confidential all things revealed to me as a physician. I will abide by and hold sacred both the letter and the spirit of this oath throughout my professional career. Graduates, remain standing. Turn to face the congregation. Now please change your tassel from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. Graduates of chiropractic, please be seated.
The Principal will now introduce the valedictorian for 2015.
Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be able to introduce to you the valedictorian for 2015, Judith Torstvedt.
Dear Deputy Mayor, Deputy Mayoress of Bournemouth, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow graduates. It's such a great honour to give this year's valedictorian speech, to have this opportunity to express my appreciation to all of you. I would never have thought that I would be standing here today, in front of all of you, giving a speech on my first day of college, when Annika and I came storming into room 7, late for our first day. So that's a great start. I guess that this is going to finish. So much has happened since we all came to Bournemouth 5 years ago. I have found myself. I also found a lot of knowledge, a fair amount of not so very useful information. But most importantly, I found friends, best friends, and also love. Our college is unique in that way that it attracts people from all over the world. I think that this is one of the reasons why it feels so much like a family. and that we create bonds that are rarely found in bigger universities than ours. Another reason why we chiropractic students are forced to connect so early is that the first week of college we have to do our practical classes in our underwear. I will never forget Dr. Hamley asking for a volunteer in the first agile class in our first week when he was demonstrating the anterior and posterior part of the human body. So yeah, he needed a volunteer. And Marius Hott, he took off his clothes as the first person in our year. I think that serves him up. I remember thinking that it was so brave, and I'm so happy it wasn't me standing there. So I guess we start trusting each other very naturally in the beginning when we're put in a situation like that, and we make bonds that it is impossible to break. It's so surreal to think that we're actually graduating, thinking back at the 104 times we've been walking to an exam together. With our heads filled with everything from the different layers of the bodily tube to how to take a picture with the right exposure and aperture on an old-fashioned camera. So yeah, but we had some fun as well, believe me, we did. The memories of all our unbelievably crazy parties that has gone down in toddlers' arms are still there, under the new paint and also the never-ending struggle with the broken roof tiles after every Friday night. People are singing about crying a river. I think that I probably cried an ocean in frustration in 5 years here at AECC. We have all had our ups and downs, and we met some really difficult challenges. But without the support and encouragement from all our tutors, families that are with us today, and each other, I don't think it would have been possible for any of us. So let's make sure that we thank those people here today on the day of celebration to let them know that we love them and that we appreciate them. I think we as class of 2015 has made our mark in the walls of the AECC. And finally, the picture that we've taken here after I'm finished speaking is going up in a staircase by the library. It's incredibly exciting to finally be there at the finish line, and that we have all that we need to make that step forward into the future and crossing the next starting line. But after we leave Mormont this weekend, make sure you remember bonds that have been created here the past 5 years. Let's nurture them by sticking together for the profession and make it move forward. Let's keep on loving each other. Let's appreciate our differences and cheer each other up. Let's value the fact that we are different, but we all have the same goal. So let's keep that in focus and appreciate that gift. Always make sure to believe in each other, believe in chiropractic, and never forget to believe in yourself. Congratulations, everyone. We made it. And even though every tutor say that a year group is the best, we all know that class of 2015 really is the best. So let's celebrate the past 5 years and the future like we have celebrated every start and end of your party in Toddler's Arms. And with that, I mean really dancing on the tables, really smashing those roof tiles. So, to finish off, I was asked by my fellow students if I could take a selfie. So, if everyone can share, and I'll take a selfie of all of us. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Professor Jenny Bolton, Vice Principal Postgraduate Studies and Research, will now present the postgraduate graduates.
Principal, in the name and by the authority of the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic, I present to you the following for the award of Postgraduate Certificate Professional Development in Chiropractic. Peter Jonathan Langton with distinction. Neil Thomas. For the award of Master of Science, Advanced Professional Practice in Clinical Sciences, Peter Emery with distinction. Nicolene Landers with distinction. For the award of Postgraduate Diploma, Advanced Professional Practice in Clinical Sciences, Neil Thomas with distinction. For the award of Master of Science, Advanced Professional Practice in Orthopedics, Anthony James Phelan. For the award of Master of Science in Medical Ultrasound, Andrew Alea with distinction. Patricia Cullen. Warren Foster. Kalpesh Hamar. For the award of Postgraduate Diploma in Medical Ultrasound, Gladys Bavana. Michael Sean Burden with distinction. Anita Ghosh. Master of Science Ultrasound, General and Gynecology, Michael Gonzi. Obi Ageli Oro. For the award of Master of Science in Ultrasound Musculoskeletal, Sunita Chandra. Charles Anovo. Gru Rossok with distinction. Timothy Swan with distinction. Postgraduate Certificate in Ultrasound Musculoskeletal, Anthony Edward Annan. graduates who have not attended this ceremony are recognised in absentia. That concludes the presentation of candidates for their awards.
Dr. Hugh Hurst, President of the AECC Graduate Association, will now announce the names of the candidates who have been selected for the student prizes, and the Deputy Mayor of Bournemouth, Councillor Chris Main, will present the prizes.
Best all-round student in the final year, donated by the AECC to the student who has contributed the most in non-academic terms to the college in his or her year and the course, goes to Scott Gimby and Richard Nichol. Flavio Grillo Prize for the Best Clinical Proficiency Performance in the final year, donated by the AECC to the student whose performance exemplifies those characteristics identified with good clinical practice. And this goes to Christina Figueli and Irma Ruki. Rehabilitation Award for the final year, donated by the Royal and Sun Alliance Insurance Company to the student or students who have made an outstanding contribution to the advancement or implementation within the field of musculoskeletal rehabilitation, and this goes to Arne Gulset. Outstanding Academic Student Award for the final year, which is donated by the Royal Sun Alliance Insurance Company to the students or students with the best profile of marks, goes to Michael Shilton in absentia. The Community Outreach Education Award for the final year students, which is donated by the Chiropractic Trust Fund to the student who has contributed the most to the Community Outreach Programme, and this goes to Victoria Cheskin. Postgraduate Award, donated by the AECC in memory of Dr. Graham Hill to the student or students with the best academic performance in achieving the postgraduate Master of Science degree, and this goes to Peter Emily.
Dr. Jean Ross, guest speaker, will now deliver the graduation address.
Good afternoon. Deputy Mayor and Deputy Mayoress of Bournemouth, councillors, Mr. Chairman, Principal, faculty and staff, honoured guests, but most of all, the class of 2015. I am honored to have been asked to deliver the convocation address at this, the 50th anniversary of the opening of AECC. Honored, but I must admit, I'm feeling a little strange. Where was I 50 years ago? Oh my goodness, that seems like such a long time ago. But I was entering to Cavendish as a student of that first year of the AECC. And in fact, for the first few days, I was the only female in the class. And that seemed to foretell the future, where there were many, many occasions where I was the only woman at meetings. Being the first class in an institution is an interesting experience. And there were many innovative developments during that first year. Later, I and a group of my friends transferred to the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College, CMCC, where I eventually became president. Today, it seems as though life has come full circle. But today is not about me. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at these graduates. Who do you see? Some of you see sons and daughters of whom you are very proud and probably a little relieved that they will no longer be on the payroll. Some of you see husbands and wives or brothers and sisters, or even just a friend whom you have watched work extremely hard to be in their seat today. They have shown persistence, integrity, and a capacity for hard work which will provide a sound foundation on which they will build their future. Thank you to the families for the support you have provided to them during their education. Some of the graduates will now go on to further study. Do I hear a groan from the parents? And the majority will be entering the workforce in their area of specialty. And we're here today celebrating their success as they move on to the next stage of their lives. As I look out at these bright, young faces, I think the future of healthcare is in safe hands. My congratulations to all of you as you cross this stage. Sitting on the platform at convocation is always an honor. Watching each of you enter the stage as a student and exit as a graduate. We sometimes forget all the work that occurred when you arrived at this point. All of you have worked hard to meet the standards set by the AECC, and I'm sure that your faculty sit here and watch you cross the stage with a huge sense of pride. After all, they have made a tremendous difference in your lives. And that is something you should never forget. A few years ago, you entered this wonderful institution with a desire to have a career and to make a difference in the lives of others. And I'm sure that there have been days during your studies where you have wondered whether you could possibly achieve these goals. I can assure you that there will continue to be days where you wonder the same thing. But I can also assure you that there will definitely be days where you know for sure that you have met those goals. As the mother of a small child looks up at you with gratitude in her eyes for making the child feel better, or a 90-year-old looks at you with confidence as you examine them. One story I particularly like because it illustrates that you can have an impact on people beyond your wildest dreams. It comes from one of the clinics at CMCC. The clinic is a First Nations clinic in a First Nations community health center. The setting for the story was an Aboriginal ceremony to celebrate the contribution of the interns and clinicians from CMCC. People were asked if they had anything to say, and two women stepped forward and thanked the interns and the clinicians for allowing them to see for the first time, the difference between good touch and bad touch, because they had both been abused in childhood and later in adulthood. And you wonder if you can make a difference? Believe me, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Your skills will make a difference in many lives. Always respect the privilege that you have in being able to touch your patients. And never forget the power that you have in those funny, much abused appendages at the ends of your arms. Take a moment and look at them. Your hands. They will make a difference to your life and to the life of many others. As Woodrow Wilson, 28th President of the United States, once said, "You are not here mainly to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand." As you step out into the real world, because the ACC is a very protected environment, it may not feel like it, but it is, you take with you more than a responsibility for yourself. You carry with you the reputation of this great institution. Your actions will determine how it and your education is viewed. As you move forward, you enter a partnership with many other people. As you depend on them, they also depend on you. And the example you set will influence many lives. As a chiropractor, I have watched the world of healthcare change over the last few years. Chiropractors are now respected for what they bring to the healthcare team. And much of that respect has grown as a result of delivering healthcare in a collaborative environment, where each healthcare professional adds their expertise to the care of the patient. We each need to understand clearly the role of the different health professionals and where each is best applied. This can only be achieved through interprofessional education and collaboration, which leads to good interprofessional communication, which is so important for the well-being of the patient. Make sure that you utilize all of the collaborative avenues open to you. Remember your alma mater, because it is the foundation of your success. It has given you the tools that you will need, and the colleagues on whom you will rely, and who will rely on you. I mentioned earlier that as you graduate today, you enter a partnership with many other people. Don't forget those who came before. Your predecessors are handing you a torch, one which you must hold high, one which was worked very hard for, and one which you must care for, so that one day you can hand it on to those who follow you. I wish you an interesting and challenging career, one in which you have the opportunity to make a difference in the life of at least one person each day. Remember, each of you brings unique gifts to this life. Your skill, your knowledge, and your dedication are just part of what you offer to society. Continue to kindle your passions, keep bright your enthusiasm for life, and embrace opportunities to expand your horizons. If you love what you do, the rewards are rich. Pamela Starr, a 20th century poet and artist, said, "Reach high, for stars lie hidden in your soul. Dream deep, for every dream precedes the goal." I wish you the best. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, I call upon Professor Alan Breen to give the citation for the award of fellowship of the AECC to Dr. Peter Dixon.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, Mayoress, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen. In every walk of life, there are leaders. There are leaders all over the stage behind me. There are leaders, I'm sure, among the class of 2015, leaders in waiting, a lot of you. And every leader has the job of convening the meetings, chairing the meetings, assisting the decisions, making sure the credit gets taken, the blame gets taken. And at the end of their term of leadership, they stand down, step back, and that's the end. And then there are what you might call super leaders. And super leaders are simply leaders that keep on doing it. Peter Dixon qualified from our college in the mid-80s and almost immediately went to work as a committee member of the British Chiropractors Association. Within 10 years, he was its president. When he stepped down from the British Chiropractic Association, he became the chairman of our Board of Governors, the AECC Board of Governors. And when that term finished, he became the president of the Pan-European Organization of Chiropractors, the European Chiropractors Union. And when that ended, he became the chairman of the UK regulator, the government regulator for chiropractors, the General Chiropractic Council. And when that ended, 2013, he became the president of the newly Royal College of Chiropractors. So this is a truly stunning record of leadership and achievement. And it's for that reason that I've got great pleasure in presenting to Dr. Peter Dixon the Honorary Fellowship of the AECC.
Australian, this isn't it? Thank you, Alan. Those are very kind words, and I'm very flattered, but not necessarily deserved, but thank you very much. Thank you also to the Board of Governors of AECC, to AECC itself, and to the Principal for awarding this fellowship. A friend of mine once said to me that there is no better feeling than being recognised by your peers, and I now know exactly what he meant. When thinking about today, I was reflecting on the main drivers for my career, the motivators, and I think there are three of them. The first is expertise. Expertise is the foundation of a profession. It's what gives it its identity. It's what sets it apart from the rest. And AECC is clearly at the forefront of undergraduate expertise, both here in the UK and across the globe. And even back in the early 1980s, when I came, I was very impressed with the level of expertise I required to get a diploma. Subsequently, I was fortunate enough to serve on the Board of Governors, and I watched as AECC achieved degree status, first accredited by the Council for National Academic Accreditations, then by Portsmouth University, and subsequently by Bournemouth University. And in that time, the quality of the undergraduate education has steadily improved to the point where I believe it's one of the best chiropractic trainings in the world.
AECC has also been very active in the development of postgraduate education and in the research community. And it was the need for research and for good CPD that was the inspiration for the College of Chiropractors, which is now the Royal College. And the need for that expertise was brought home very firmly to me when, as chairman of the GCC, we had to deal with the nearly 700 complaints that fell out of the Simon Singh affair. To deal with those complaints properly, we had to go to the evidence base that supports what we do. And I'm afraid that in many places it was far from comprehensive. For a profession to be confident and to defend itself against such criticism, there needs to be a robust evidence base that can support what we do, and we must build that up. There is, of course, a risk associated with being referred to as an expert, in that one of the definitions says that X is the unknown quantity and a spurt is a drip under pressure. Well, I certainly understood what being under pressure was all about when I was at the GCC. The second motivator for my career was optimism. When I arrived at AECC in the summer of 1980, we were still in 2 suburban houses in Cavendish Road. At the end of that year, we moved to the new building in Parkwood Road, but with only just over 100 students in the whole college, we were rattling around in that building. But the fact that we moved there was testament to the optimism and the ambition of the leaders at the time. That building is now full to the gunnels and brimming with energy, and is a great testament to that ambition and that optimism. When I graduated, I was lucky enough to go and work for a chiropractor who was then president of the BCA. And he encouraged me, firstly, to start producing Contact magazine, then to get involved on the BCA Council. And it was at that stage that the project for the recognition of the profession in this country was born. And I well remember, I shall never forget, the enthusiasm, the energy, and the sheer optimism that was present in that period, particularly as we moved towards that moment where we realised we were going to be successful. And then, in the summer of 1994, the Chiropractors Act was passed. Of course, then the hard work of establishing the GCC began, but I will never forget how the whole profession was fantastically optimistic at that time, and I believe we still should be now. The final motivator for my career has been enthusiasm. I've always been very impressed with the enthusiasm of every chiropractor that I've ever met. You can't stop them talking about what they do. They love their job. They love their patients. They love what effect it has on their lives. And from a personal point of view, in the 31 years that I've been working, I can't remember a single day when I didn't want to go to work. And that's quite a statement, a precious gift. But if optimism is the foundation of ambition, then enthusiasm is the fuel for success. It can't really be taught in a classroom. It comes from within. It's personal experience. Inspiration can come from great teaching, but more often it is from what you learn when you're on the job. I know that I've been very fortunate to have been part of some of the great changes that have occurred for this profession over the last 30 years. But there will be many more momentous changes over the coming years, and your generation and subsequent generations will be responsible for those changes. And I look forward to seeing what they are. But I hope that your undergraduate education has lit a spark, and that your experience in practice will fan the flames, so that you will have the same enthusiasm that I've had for my career. I know that you'll have the expertise because you wouldn't have graduated without it. I hope that you are optimistic. As I say, I believe you should be. In this country particularly, but across the world, the attitudes towards healthcare, particularly musculoskeletal conditions, is changing. In this country, the current framework, the current model is not sustainable. And the Department of Health has recently published the Musculoskeletal Framework and Pathway documents, and that, along with the guidelines from NICE on the management of lower back pain and the other guidelines that have been written, put the chiropractic profession in a very strong position to move forward and play a proper part in dealing with this modern epidemic of back pain. So I hope that'll make you very busy, and therefore I hope that you'll be as enthusiastic about the profession as I am. So congratulations on first deciding to be chiropractors. Secondly, congratulations on graduating. And thank you again to AECC.
The chairman will now close the proceedings.
Today has been wonderful public acknowledgement of effort and achievement. It's given me great satisfaction to see our graduates radiate pleasure and pride, not only in their own awards, but also their peers as well. I know that I, my fellow governors and the faculty are equally proud of you. Without such dedicated students, our college would not be the successful centre of learning that it is today. In closing, on behalf of my fellow governors, I'd like to offer some thanks to those who've made this day possible and who've worked so hard to make this a special day. Firstly, to our graduates' parents, relatives and friends who have supported them in their studies. Thank you. And thank you also for attending today and joining in with these celebrations. Dr. Moss, thank you for your thought-provoking words. I'm sure as our graduates progress, they will remember them and have regard to your comments. Judith, thank you for speaking so eloquently on behalf of your fellow graduates. It's always a pleasure to hear what you're thinking about. Dr. Dixon, thank you also for your words. I think they're very thought-provoking with some good messages for our graduates. I'd also like to thank the members of staff who organised today's events. And so finally, I declare the Anglo-European College of Chiropractic 2015 graduation award ceremony to be closed.
Would all guests remain in their seats until the platform party has left the auditorium? And then you can join them for afternoon tea in the Pavilion Ballroom. Graduates, would you remain seated in the auditorium so that the year photograph can be taken? And now Dr. Francis Wilson will lead the platform party off the stage.
Thank you.